Joanna,
Hi, Kathe.
this topic is timely because both of us are going through some stuff right now. And so today's topic is running your business in crisis mode. And you might hear some noise in the background because that is little Harmony. And so let me just explain what's going on with Joanna and I. And if you follow Joanna on social media, you know that she just adopted a baby. And she's been really excited leading up to this. She knew this was coming. Um, I thought it was silly for her to do this right around AEP, but hey, when the baby drops in your lap, you don't say no. And for me, I'm having a crisis because my husband his health is failing. And so we moved him to assisted living, started the process of having him have people in the home in September. He went to assisted living and now he's actually in a rehab hospital, not a skilled nursing facility, but it's actually a rehab hospital, and I don't know where he's going to go when he gets out. Because
Mm,
if he still needs a two-person assist, he won't be able to go back to the assisted living per the laws in my state. So, listeners, we know that you have crises too, and we want to talk to you. Well, Joanna and I have not scripted this. We never do. We saw each other 3 minutes ago and say, "What do you want to talk about?" And
exactly.
right now, so Joanna, tell us a little bit about all of this stuff and we know we know you're going through the personal stuff, but how are you able to do this, run your business, deal with your business? Because you're
Yeah.
running a business,
Uh-huh.
all this chaos is happening in your life.
Yeah. So I think I think what has been actually a blessing, Kathe, is these are the days we worked for. You have built a book of over 600. I built a small boutique FMO. I busted my butt 18 hours a day the last 6 years, since I left Social Security. And now I'm able to sit back a little bit and relax. I don't have to work 18 hours a day anymore. I hired a virtual assistant staff that runs a lot of my mundane businesses for me. I've trained the agents hardcore before Harmony got here. No agent can say that they didn't know what to do. So these are the days we prepared for. And I think that's been a blessing. Like, when I told you in July that I was asked to adopt little Harmony, her mom asked me to adopt her. I didn't go seeking for her, and she was actually supposed to be due December 28th. So she tricked us. She had some medical concerns and they brought her in a month early.
No, no,
Um,
no, no, no. It's because she couldn't wait to meet her mama.
yes,
That's
well,
why.
and she's on camera right now with Kathe. She gave me her first smile yesterday and everything. Now, rumor has it she was farting, but it was a
Don't
smile.
believe it. Don't believe it. Don't believe it.
But she does. So she was born very small. She was born at 5 pounds 8 ounces, lost a couple ounces, and so she came home she was in the NICU. So we had a scary little tiny NICU stay, and I was in the NICU with her snoring. So she's already was accustomed to my snoring and everything. I was going back and forth between her room and the birth mom's room at the hospital, 2.5 hours away, and just running on pure adrenaline, really. But you do what you have to do, and we didn't have anybody else to help us, which is fine.
So
Um,
tell the listener how you built your business in such a way to where you could even consider this.
Yeah. Well, it was all trial and error and a lot of luck. But so I run an FMO, which means I have a downline. I do have a personal book of business, and I believe that everybody should have a personal book of business before they try to teach somebody else how to do something. Because I don't think you can really truly teach something that you've never done. If I try to teach Kathe something I've never done in theory, it's really just me borrowing knowledge that I've acquired from someone else, right? That's my belief. And there's people out there that do that. And I just was like, well, I mean, you should just go direct to the source then. I feel the same way about Social Security. People who've never worked for Social Security but teach Social Security principles, all they're teaching is theory that they've never seen in practice, right? So, I built an FMO before I built Top Flight, and Top Flight's 3.5 years was just work. I mean, I had no other choice. I consider myself outside of insurance unemployable because of my I got injured in the Air Force. I got hit in the chest with a pressurized air hose, and I, was waking up every morning with massive chest pains and everything. And it takes me longer to get about. Um, Thankfully, moving to Texas, I don't really have those problems, and I attribute it to the weather. But I have a hard time, being anywhere at like 8 o'clock in the morning, which means I usually have to leave at 7 o'clock in the morning. I
Well, you
have,
know why I'm unemployable?
yeah.
I don't like people telling me what to do.
So I don't have a problem being told what to
I
do. I came from the
well, you
military.
came from the military, but I'll give you I don't think to ask.
Yeah.
Okay. When I was a financial advisor, I had just gotten this job
Hmm.
and I had an office and I didn't, I needed an electrical outlet installed
Mm.
in my office. And, my office was with other people,
Mhm.
right? But I had my own individual office, but I was in an office with, I was working for Aetna at the time when they
Mhm.
were doing not financial planning, but selling products. And I needed an electrical outlet in my office or something. I forget what it was. And so I asked the building manager how much it would cost if I had one installed.
Mhm.
And they said, oh, $200. And I said, okay, go ahead and install it. So I had it installed. I paid for it. And then I got in trouble because I should have gone through my company. And I'm like, why should I add an extra step when I'm going to be the one paying for it? And I
Right.
just didn't understand why I needed
Right.
to ask the person who wasn't, they would have just had to do what I did,
Right.
right? So I'm not good as an employee.
So
That
mine
that
was
was just,
different. Security, because I was being denied sick leave. I was at the
yeah.
ER with strep throat, and the supervisor, I mean, I don't know why she did this because I cleaned up everybody else's work. I was the go-to. But she told me that I had to come in, and she put me on the phones for 8 hours abusing me with strep throat. And then she like started asking all these major illegal questions that any HR professional would know. Is like, you can't ask someone what their condition is, their disability and everything, and not apply it to it. Disability had nothing to do with the performance of the job. You're not asking me if I can lift 100 pounds over my head like in the Air Force. That's why I got out of the Air Force, because I could no longer lift 100 pounds over my head, right?
Joanna, can you imagine trying to adopt Harmony while if you were still working at Social Security,
No.
would you have been able to do it?
No, so all right, so in transparency, Kathy, and I'm saying this to one of my friends, I've actually had 4 pregnancy losses. And the
Yeah.
first one started, I lost my first pregnancy at my Social Security office. I was 29 years old, and I had a miscarriage in the ladies' bathroom. But when I was pregnant, my anxiety was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to drop the baby off at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to work and pick the baby up at 6 o'clock at night. And I'm never going to see my baby. And oh my God. And you know, even just 2 years ago. So Harmony cost me over $30,000. Adoption is not cheap. It's not expensive. Even though her mom walked up to me and said, I can't raise a child. This is number 6 for her. I can't raise a child. She was houseless, and had some other issues going on. And she was like, I think we could just do legal fees. I don't need anything from you. At the time, that's what she said. And so we thought it was originally going to just be legal fees. Well, we found out quickly in the great state of Texas, a stranger cannot just hand another stranger a baby. They call that human trafficking. So we had to go through an adoption agency, which was very expensive, and then I had to pay her housing and her living expenses and her door dashes and every Mylanta. And so it cost me well over 30,000. I think we're almost at 50,000 actually. But I didn't even have that money a couple years ago because I had restarted my business. Some people had affected my business and took everything from me just a couple years ago. So 2 years ago, I didn't have $50,000 just to plop down on her bills and stuff. And so she came at the time where I had built the business already, and I had the money sitting in the bank account. She did chip into my island money a little bit, but there's still a lot of island money there.
It'll
Um,
happen. It'll happen.
yeah, so like the thing is, Kathy, in our industry, with our skills, when someone says, "Hey, you need to come up with $50,000," I'm like, "All right, 50,000 divided by 700. I just got to go write some more Medicare." Right? I mean, that's how when I found out it was going to cost, I was like, "All right, I just have to go write 100 more Medicare clients, and it'll be good, right? No problem."
Yep. And I did not help you with that this year because
You
I
ca-
only,
actually you actually did a pretty good, Kathy.
well, a lot of that was working with existing clients. I think
Okay.
I only got like, I don't know, for 2026, I think I only have like 20 or 25 new clients or something like
Uh
that.
huh.
Usually I get 100.
Okay.
But the year's not, that's over the course of the
Yeah,
whole
but you're
year.
really not an AEP person. You're a year-round person.
I am, but it's just funny. But I'm telling you and the listeners for the first time, when I found out that my husband was going to take a lot more care,
Hmm.
about AEP was not over yet, and I told my assistant I am no longer taking new clients.
So I did the same
So
thing because when she
I,
came Thanksgiving week, I was like, "All right, Joanna's done. Send all business, even existing business, to Zach. Zach will figure it out. Zach will thank me for all my clients that came to Zach now." you
yep.
know.
Well, I am servicing my clients. I'm taking of clients. I'm
Mhm.
taking personal friends,
Mhm.
and I told my assistant the 55 prospects that were in my calendar already when I made that decision to stop, I will go ahead and see them as well. But
Mhm.
after those 55 people, and I think it's probably down to like 25 now,
Mhm.
because I've got appointments into February right now, and listeners, we're recording this as of December 19th,
Mhm.
and I've got actually have one appointment in March,
Mhm.
but because people call me when they're turning 65,
Sure.
and you might call me a year in advance, and I've said, okay, well, I'll go ahead and take those clients. But then, um, starting in February, I'm I'm only going to work 2 days a week,
Mhm.
and on the days I'm not working, I'm going to stop checking email.
Mhm. I think that's important.
And I'm going to tell my assistant, if you something in my email or a phone call or a text, I need you to call me
Mhm.
and let me know because I'm not going to be checking email. My husband needs a lot of care right now. For those of you that don't know what a rehab hospital is, it's not a sniff. Uh, it's an actual hospital, and so it counts. I was kind of wondering how we were going to pay for this because when he first was recommended, I was thinking, and I knew it wasn't a sniff, but I was thinking it was a sniff, and I'm like, well, he hasn't had a 3-day hospital stay, so
Mhm.
Medicare's not going to cover this. And they're like,
Mm.
well, it's a hospital. If he is approved to go in there, it'll be covered under Part A. It's a
Mhm.
hospital. And then the
Okay.
doctors are covered under Part B. And my husband, for those of you that are on Medicare Advantage plans, he's on a supplement plan, so we're not worrying about anything. And I will see how much all this costs at the end. It's a 1 to 2 week stay, and then hopefully they will get him rehabbed enough to where he can walk out of there because 2 weeks ago he was walking, and 2 days after he moved into the assisted living community, he couldn't get out of bed. He couldn't walk, and he's needing two-person assists according to the assisted living. He needs
Mhm.
two-person assists. But I have two videos showing two different separate ladies who each weigh maybe 110 pounds
Oh.
doing a one-person assist.
Mhm.
So it could just be people don't know how to do it. Did you know they can't use gait belts in South Carolina?
I didn't know that. I don't even know what a gate belt is, to be
That
honest.
that is a belt that they use to a one-person transfer somebody from a chair to a bed,
Mm.
from one chair to another chair. It's looks just like a belt. And they wrap it around the person. You can Google it, listeners, and basically it helps you not get injured when you're trying to lift somebody up.
Mm.
And in South Carolina, it's considered a restraint, and you can't use it unless they're in skilled. So it's crazy. It's crazy. You would prevent so many injuries. Let people do that. But anyway, so that's my crisis going on. I'm my husband's health decline. which
Mhm.
happened rapidly over a 1 week period. And now he's coming back with therapy. He's got occupational, physical,
Is
and speech therapy.
can I ask some health questions?
Sure, and if it violates anything, I will delete it.
I was just wondering, is the other concerns active or is he in remission?
Oh, well, it's not he's not in remission, but
Mm.
the listener, my husband has Parkinson's. The Parkinson's is going to continue, and the
Oh.
therapists think that this might have something to do with the Parkinson's as
Mhm.
well. It's a horrible, horrible disease. I just want to make sure I'm on the right microphone.
Yeah, I can hear you.
But listeners, I don't know if I could have done this with a regular job.
No, you
You
and
know,
nobody would have given you. You would have had to go on FMLA and unpaid leave, and most people have no savings, or you would have had to start dipping into your retirement accounts. And thank God. So, Kathy, you told me when we were texting that thank God you have a long-term care policy.
oh my gosh, my long-term care policy is way better than I thought it was.
Mhm.
Way better. It is an indemnity plan.
Mm. Okay.
So it pays me a flat dollar amount for every day that he's needing care. And now that he's at the rehab hospital, not getting paid the days because he's not in the community. He's not in the
Okay.
facility. So that means it's not going to cover how much money I've spent already.
Uh.
Because with these communities, there's usually a move-in fee of a couple thousand
Ah.
dollars.
Mhm.
Some of them they charge you a full month's rent.
So they don't
And
pause it when they go to the hospital.
the yeah, the long-term care gets paused. The money I've spent
Yeah.
won't be reimbursed. I mean, I won't get those days because it's a per day that you're in the facility,
Okay.
and he won't get paid for the days he's in the hospital.
I got you.
So, and the community that he's in right now by the month.
Oh,
So,
okay, okay.
so for long-term facilities, for those of you who don't know, there's two pieces when you're in assisted living. One is the rent itself.
Mhm.
Right now in my area, December 2025, it's around, I don't know, four to $7,000 a month, I would say,
Mhm.
what you pay for the rent. And then there's the care portion. And what they
Mhm.
do is they call you different levels. So level one is probably no care, and it goes up depending on the community to level five or six.
Okay.
And level fives and sixes are they need a lot of care. And that's
Mhm.
where he moved in. They thought he was going to be a level two, and they charged us for a level three, which in the community where he's at right now, it's $900 a month. And then the level five where he's at is 1,500 a month.
Okay.
So it's rent plus the care.
Okay.
Now they're not going to charge us for the care while he's not there. We're going
Right.
to get some kind of prorated refund. But my scare, the thing that scares me is not if go back.
Mhm.
And I don't want him in skilled. Skilled is
And
like a hospital.
and he can't do care at home?
I don't have the bandwidth to do that.
Well,
Are you talking about home care at home? Yeah,
well,
we have a
yeah.
policy that covers that, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
People don't want to do it at night,
Yeah.
and I just think they're going to be sleeping.
Yeah.
Even if they came at night. I didn't really when he moved in, I didn't really think that um he was going to need it during the day. And the plan was to have him come home during the day
Mhm.
and take him there at night. And for those of you listening, you're thinking, "Oh, do they have a discount for that?" No. There's no discount if they're not there during the day. It was just our way of dealing with him falling all the time.
Mhm.
And because he didn't, he doesn't want to go there. He didn't want to go there. He wanted to be home. But as far as having caregivers come to the house, it's
Mhm.
way more expensive.
Okay. Yeah. Because they
And
have to travel and bill.
well, it's $35 an hour where I'm at.
Yeah.
And so 35 times 24 hours, let's
Yeah.
just do that math. My insurance pays something, but it doesn't pay anywhere near that.
Now,
That's $840 a day.
what
Okay.
about?
That is $25,000 a
Yep.
month. I don't
What
have that kind of money. My insurance
we
will not
know.
cover that.
What about hospice?
So that was a consideration for
Mhm.
when he was in the community,
Yeah.
just so that he would get more care.
Mhm.
In order to get him in the rehab, they had they said you cannot be considering hospice, put him in a rehab hospital.
Okay. Well, yeah, because
And
hospice is you decide to stop treatment, right?
exactly.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so they're
And
like,
right
no,
now we're doing everything to treat.
exactly.
Okay. All right.
Exactly.
Now I
So that's what
understand.
we're doing. Yeah. Now, he's not doing the chemo,
Mhm.
for his, and for the listeners, that's public. My husband has talking about his chemo, his cancer.
Mhm.
So it's public information, and his websites talk about all of it. So I don't think I'm breaking any HIPAA laws because it's already public
No. Yeah.
information. But anyway, yeah, home care is super. Oh wait, yeah, I can you believe it's 30,000? Let's see. Let's do. Yeah, if you had 24-hour care, it's 25,000 a month.
Yeah.
So I have bought a lottery ticket. Right now, the lottery is $1.5 billion. So who
Mm.
knows? Maybe he'll come home and have the 24-hour care.
Wouldn't that be nice? You
Yeah,
know.
I buy about 7 lottery tickets a year. I just buy them when they're super, super high. It's
Okay.
I'm really lucky when it comes to winning prizes,
Really.
like if I go somewhere with you and they have a
Mhm.
drawing, a lot of times I'm lucky with that. I've never won the lottery. Like
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
that
Me
is
either. Me either. I hope you win the lottery.
well, I have read articles and I have looked at some things of people who have won those super big lotteries,
Mhm.
and it ruins their life.
Yeah.
It
Why do you think
ruins
it's
their
because they
life.
don't know how to do financial management? I mean, you're a financial planner though.
There's a couple of reasons. One is people aren't used to that kind of money. Okay.
Yes.
But the second is then people treat them different.
Yep.
People. So I don't know. I think maybe God doesn't want me to gamble my $2. I will not play the $5 lottery.
Okay.
That's just too much.
So
But
I will. My 2 years ago, my life looked very different, and I kind of feel like I won the lottery by working hard.
you
But
grew into it.
people do treat you different. People treat me different today than they did 2 years ago. I get
Mm,
asked for money all the time now, from strangers, or people who just assume that I'm a billionaire. I don't have a Lambo, I don't have jet money yet. I wouldn't ever buy my own personal jet. I used to on aircraft. I'm not doing that. But I think I think we are in the perfect industry to come up with, money to have the way of life that we want.
yeah, I'm looking at my finances, and
Mhm.
so I have 680 clients right now.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm not making Joanna money. Okay, but I can stop working
Mhm.
and be very comfortable right
Mhm.
now.
Mhm.
And I mean, it's nice to have this kind of living
Yep.
and be able to determine what type of life you want.
Mhm.
So there's people in this industry that want to make the $1 million a year, and I say go for it.
Yep.
I'm perfectly content. There's some influencers in the industry that say I'm a slacker, because I'm just happy making what I'm making. But I went into this business so I'd have that choice. I didn't want to work.
You want to
There's
work 2 days a week. That's
yeah,
all right. So you're at a different part in your
that's
life
I'm
that
60.
you're
I'm 60.
60 and you
I'm
have
60.
a much older spouse
That's
who
right.
who needs care.
Yeah, he needs care now. I would not have been able to do this if I was still a financial advisor.
He's not 60. I'll just so you know. He's
No,
not 60. But
they know he's
you want to spend as much time with less as possible, you
exactly.
know? And
We
so
don't
that's
know.
what's important to you. And I'm much you. I'm 43 and I never thought that today would come, but I want to spend as much time as possible with this little 6-pound peanut and
Pardon me.
and she does not cry. She's like the best baby.
I have to sit here and look at her. The listeners, most of our people listen to us.
Yeah.
She is so stinking cute. She is
She,
just adorable, just like her mama. And I know she's adopted, but I don't
she's
I
got
don't
my blue
care.
eyes.
She's she's her mama's baby, and you're her mama, and there we go.
Yes.
She is.
She's what I needed. But so I've structured my business to be able to, Harmony likes to party around 2 to 5 o'clock in the morning. That's her party
That
hours.
that was your perfect time of being awake. I do remember you love getting up in the middle of the night, but you are an early bird.
No, I used to go to bed around 1 o'clock in the morning and wake up around 8. That was my perfect hours.
Mm.
But so I like to work now that like nobody has let me have maternity leave. By the way,
Yeah, of course.
there's
Right.
no such thing as maternity leave because somebody
Exactly.
needs something. You have to do some emails. So what I do instead of 2 days a week like you, I'm doing mostly just afternoon. So like around 11 o'clock in the morning, I can sit down after she has a bottle, or I can even feed her a bottle while I'm doing. Like yesterday, I did a video with one of my friends, Evan, and I can take a couple appointments or whatever. And then I'm, trying to be done by 4 o'clock. So I'm
Yeah.
getting like 5 hours a day in,
There you go. And just to be clear, I'm not doing 2 days a week right now,
Okay.
because I had all these appointments already scheduled. And you know what most of them are, Joanna?
PDPs. No?
Mm,
What are they?
no, hospital indemnity plans.
Wow. Well, personal stories, stories, people need. So here's the thing, Kathy. I think a lot of agents are biased because of their own experiences, or lack of experience in their own pockets, and
Well, I was.
they don't sell hospital indemnity. And you didn't until I.
No, no. I started when you started telling, you started. Okay, I was looking into it, but you know when I really started selling it?
Mm,
In October of 2025, one of my first reviews of the Medicare. Did I tell you this story?
nope, nope. We
One of
haven't
the
had.
first, I know we haven't been talking. So, the first reviews that I did for Medicare Advantage, one of my clients, I said, "Hello, Mrs. Smith. Hi, how are you doing? I want to let you know," she says, "that I owe $10,000." I'm like, "What? What happened?" She says, "I had multiple hospital stays this year. I hit my max out of pocket of $10,000." She was yelling at me, Joanna, yelling at me. And I said, "Okay, from now on, all my Medicare Advantage clients are going to at least get it offered."
Yep.
Now, I couldn't do it during AEP. Okay,
Mhm.
I just couldn't. So I scheduled all these appointments and I'm working so hard right now.
Mhm.
There are some people that after I tell them, "Okay, it's $30 a month, for $400 a day," they
Mhm.
say, "No, no, thank you. I think I'll just take my chances."
Mhm.
But you know what I'm doing? I'm documenting it. I
Well,
put it
you're
in
also
their file.
recording all your phone calls,
That's right.
hopefully.
So if they start yelling at me, I'm going to
Yeah.
say, "You're an adult. You made your decision. I offered this to you and you said no." Boom. So you can't yell at me. But I do have a fair amount of people that are taking it.
Mhm.
And I feel a lot better that I'm helping them protect themselves, because a lot of these Medicare Advantage clients, they don't have a ton of money, but they have $30 a month. They might not have $10,000, but they have $30 a month. And you're
Yeah.
helping them. I mean,
Um.
and that's why you're saying personal experience. This is my personal experience. I had one of my clients yell at me because she hit her max out of
Well,
pocket.
all you have to do is show them your husband's hospital bills and personal and care bills. I mean, that speaks for itself. Had you not had these policies in place, your long-term care is such, like most people don't have long-term care anymore. Most insurance agents don't even sell long-term care anymore. We've had this discussion
You can't
because
even find it. You can't
right.
even, it's not there. It's basically life insurance and annuities that have a rider on them.
Yeah, exactly. So, but a lot of people aren't even adding the riders, or they're not thinking, "Oh, life insurance is going to get me help." But
It's expensive, for me. So I've had my policy for 20 years now. And I just paid my bill. I'm trying to, right now, I don't have to pay for my husband because he's
mhm,
on claim. I think my portion for the policy right now is $3,500 a year.
okay,
And that's cheap. Okay. I don't
mhm,
think you could even find that right now for a 60-year-old.
right,
I would say it's probably at least double that for people that try to buy something, but you can't even find my policy because I have unlimited benefits.
yeah,
If I went into if I went into a assisted living today
mhm,
and I lived to be 90, it would keep. paying until the company went bankrupt.
Wow.
And most even policies that people can get, it's usually capped at like a couple years.
Yeah. Well, it's a concern of mine because I don't have anybody to take care of me. So it's like I'm gonna have to dig into it. I have one of my former mentors coming into a training I'm hosting in January. We're gonna do deep dive into annuities while we're doing it,
Good.
and I think that's what I'm gonna ask him is to show me like an annuity that I can purchase now with a rider for
Long-term
long-term
care.
care because I don't have a spouse yet.
Annuities
Um,
are great. When I was an advisor, a financial advisor, I used to sell about $2 million worth of annuities a year.
mm,
And it it's a they are great if you know what you're doing, and
mhm,
you don't you need to make sure that people don't think that they're money out.
right.
That's the main issue that people would have is, not with me because I was selling usually rollovers,
Mhm.
from their 401k or something else. And I was using the annuity. I sold a lot of index annuities
Okay.
that are tied to the stock market, but
Mhm.
they won't lose money. And I used them instead of bonds as a financial advisor. So a lot of
Okay.
financial advisors will do stocks and bonds, mutual funds, and things like that. And I would usually try to do the index annuity instead of a bond because it's got the same kind of safety, but no downturn. And by the way, bonds can go down value. People
Mm.
don't realize that. When interest rates go up, bonds go down.
Damn,
But
I didn't
yeah,
know that.
I'm glad you're doing that training. That's going to be agents. It's good to have wide variety. And that's what I'm doing, not taking new clients, but I'm certainly going to offer them things that they need.
Well,
Mm.
with the writing on the wall this year was more uh crazy than last year with the schedules popping up harder than ever before. I think that the Medicare agent, the ACA agent has to diversify their business because we saw it in states, Connecticut, a lot of states went non-commissioned. I had a referral from I work with this nonprofit and they just send me referrals around the country because I have all except Virginia. I'm sorry, except the Virgin Islands. I have to go get that. But I had this guy in Wyoming. In his county, there was only one policy that existed, and
That was
I,
commissionable or just one policy?
one policy that was just existed. Not like, but I went to write it. The big U had removed it from
The
access to
platform.
yeah, so
That is,
I couldn't write it on the platform. I couldn't write it at all. It wasn't on Sunfire, it wasn't on Lean, it wasn't anywhere, and I had to tell them, I'm so sorry, they're not allowing agents to write this.
you know, I want, even though it was commissionable, you couldn't write it.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my beef. And during AEP, I sent out an email to all my clients that are Medicare supplement, and I said, I'm sorry, but as of now, as of today, that was the day that Humana dropped where I mean, we had notice with Humana that whatever that day was, they were going to be taking their drug plans off the platform.
Mhm.
And United Healthcare had already done it. And I sent out an email. I said, as of today, I can't do drug plan analysis for anybody anymore because I don't have accurate information and I don't have the bandwidth to type out everybody's drugs into Medicare.gov. And so I said, here's what I want you to do.
Mhm.
Here's a link to all of the senators and representatives in the United States based on state. I
Mhm.
want you to reach out to your legislature and say, they shouldn't be allowed to do this. And I want you to reach out to your state insurance department. And I said that to all my clients, and I have had some clients do it.
Good.
And
S-
we're not going to be able to solve this problem. This has to come from our clients. Our clients have to
Yes.
say, this
So
is a service we want provided
states
to us.
do not agents. They care about beneficiaries.
That's
And
right.
so we have to understand that if it affects the beneficiary. So in the great state of New York, where my parents live, they also could not purchase on the carrier site or Medicare.gov. And this is what got me heated. There's a plan that exists that would get them the most robust benefits, checked all the boxes. They couldn't even sign themselves up on Medicare.gov. I find that criminal because how do you advertise a plan that got approved and the public cannot access it.
Well, that's why the state of Idaho put a cease and desist.
Well, but the carriers are now suing the state of Idaho, and of the others, I think we're up to 12 states now. The carriers are suing the states now. Like they're fighting. It's like a dog fight.
Well, I'm sorry, I think more beneficiaries need to write into their
I
legislatures
agree.
and their Department of
Because how
Insurance to
dare
say,
you remove the button from Medicare.gov? Okay, you don't want agents to sell it? Fine. But you removed it from my access, but you published it. It's in my
yeah,
Medicare.gov book.
that's right. If you've submitted it to Medicare and you got it approved, and by the way, I think it's criminal to get it approved with compensation and then remove the compensation. That's not right
Yes.
either.
That's not right.
Um, so our legislatures right now are not for us.
Right.
We need to look out for ourselves. And by ourselves, I mean our beneficiaries out for themselves, and they need to let the legislatures know that this is affecting them. Because I'm not, and I've been telling my clients, I'm not going to be able to do your drug plan review in 2026 unless something changes. I'm not going to do it. I'll do a video
So I
on how
found,
to do your own, but
yeah,
I'm not going to do it because I can't type in
I found a
15 minutes.
workaround if you're interested.
I'm not interested.
All right, for the listener, I'm going to share my quick workaround, okay? Can I, Kathy? All right. So, Health Sherpa, who many of us use for ACA, created a Medicare website, and I am in love, by the way. So, they have an AI tool for drugs. I copied the list of prescriptions from my CRM, pasted it into their AI tool, and it propagated it, and I just had to click save. And then it showed me all the plans, even the non-commission plans or the suppressed plans. And that's how I knew how that there was one plan in Wyoming, by the way. And I shared the link of that with the client. It took me less than 5 minutes to do a PDP review, even with 24 medications. And I sent it to my clients who I swore, hey, if you have your meds up with me, I'll always review your drug coverage, you know? And they were tickled pink. And a lot of times I'd saying, hey, your plan went up to $100 a month from 30. You should change over to this, whatever.
How does Health Sherpa have it and Medicare.gov doesn't, or Sunfire doesn't? I don't
They,
understand how they have it.
I don't
And
know.
I don't know. So maybe we will talk about this for 2026. The way to do it, we'll do a video and
Yeah.
show the agents how to do it.
I did
And
a quick little Loom video for my agents. It's 5 minutes I did. And that's how I got through my PDP analysis.
okay, well, I guess that needs to be sent to you probably sent it to me, but I get
I'll
too many
send it
things.
again, but in my opinion, it was actually easier than Sunfire because I didn't have to send a code. I could just copy and paste that link that anybody could access. I didn't put any PII on it. I would just call it Kathy Test or something like that,
Right. Okay.
with your zip code, and they could see the link and everything. And I sent them instructions on how to enroll.
Okay. That's that's awesome. But okay, since we're not getting paid on most drug plans, that's an awesome way to do it.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
way,
I felt
clinical
like
can get
since
paid
someone I'm getting paid on
$50.
their med sup,
Yeah.
so it's like in order to get their med sup business, I felt like that was suitable since I said that when I took them, especially my 2018 clients, 17 clients, that I owed them an analysis.
Okay, well then we did most of the analyses because most of them were done at the beginning of AEP before
Mhm.
Humana took themselves off the platform. But that's actually good information. Thank you. So for the listener, what we want you to know is that this business is perfect if you've already set it up
Mhm.
and you need to go through a crisis. And we never know when we're going to go through the crisis. That is something. I mean, Joanna kind of knew because she had a little bit advance notice before the baby was born. I didn't have any notice with my husband.
Right.
I mean, I knew about his medical conditions, but it came on pretty suddenly. And so set this business up, and we've talked about this before, but get your business set up like a business and not like a hobby and not like you're an employee. If you get your business set up like a business, and if you don't know how to do that, go back and listen to some of our episodes on how to do that and get yourself set up because you never know what's going to happen. It could be something joyful, like what's happening with Joanna, or it could be something sad,
Mhm.
like what's happening with me right now. But this business, it's a wonderful business to be in. And
I agree.
we're so here and that you're listening.
we're very blessed. And it's an emotional time for both of us. But this is why I always say don't put off for tomorrow what you can do today, because you don't know if tomorrow is going to go as you planned. And that could be anything. I was taking her to her doctor's appointment an hour and a half away Wednesday, just 2 days ago. I was on the way home when I was pumping gas. The gas pump did not stop when it clicked.
Oh no.
I pulled it out, and it was spraying gas everywhere.
Oh
I finally
geez.
got it to stop after I probably sprayed gallons of gas all over, the ground in my car and everything. Then I'm going around the back and I slip on the gas and I fall.
Oh geez.
And thank God I didn't break anything, but I fell on my left hand and my knees, and there was nobody around to help me. And I had a baby in the car,
Mm.
nightmare. I end up getting up and stumbling into the shop, and I like the attendant just stared at me like I spoke Martian or something. I'm like, you don't see me on the cameras calling for you help and everything, and
They don't.
like I was like, your pump is broken, and now I'm damaged because of your defected pump. And she didn't come back out to the car for like 10 minutes because I was sitting there trying to gather myself and stuff. And thankfully, my hand seems to the swollen had gone down. But you don't know what accident is going to happen tomorrow. You don't know if your kids are going to be sick tomorrow. You don't know if there's going to be something crazy, if all the plans are going to go non-commissionable. You don't know. So get it done today if you can. Do the work now for you to sit back and enjoy the fruits of your labor later. And I'm glad I did the work, because had I just
Excellent advice. Yeah, yeah.
had I
Excellent
just
advice.
pushed along, I wouldn't have had her adoption money. Like, if I didn't have the adoption money, I wouldn't have been able to bring her home. I would have had to say, I'm sorry, mom, I don't have $50,000 to adopt her. You're going to have to give her to a different family. She wanted her to come to me because she wanted an open adoption. I know her
Right.
16-year-old, I know her 19-year-old, and she wanted to see the baby throughout the life. And most adoptions don't function like that. Most adoptions are closed or very limited. Well, they send a picture once a year or whatever.
Yeah. So,
So it worked
Joanna,
out.
we are so blessed,
We are so
and
blessed.
listeners, you set your business up the way that you want so that it you can help you through a crisis. And we're glad that you're here, and we'll see you next time on the Insurance Business Babes podcast. Bye.
Bye.